My name is Secondwind 814, and I just got to watching Army of the Dead. Yes, the newest zombie movie from Netflix. So, starting out, did I like this movie? Yes. You can tell I hesitated there. I mean, it was enjoyable, but at the same time, in the, I still think it was just a little meh. That's not to say it's bad. And but uh, I I enjoyed myself, but oh, I'm just delaying it. Let's get right into it. So this is basically a zombie a horror action movie, starring Dave Bautista, uh, or if you're a wrestling fan, just Batista. But anyways, he's basically he's sent into zombie infested Vegas to steal a bunch of money before Vegas gets nuked into Kingdom Come. And that's basically our premise. Now, while that might sound like an interesting movie, there were some things about this movie that I just thought were really, how do I say it, kind of corny, and really jumping the shark. So let's get into some of those. The plot feels a little generic. I shouldn't say generic, but it's basically a zombie heist movie. They go in to steal a bunch of money, because they're hired by some rich guy, and then turns out they were really there to steal something for mass DNA, or a new weapon, bioweapon that can get a betrayer down. His city goes boom. That's basically the plot of this movie in a nutshell. Now, but I thought there were some interesting dynamics in this movie. One being the father or daughter relationship in Dave Bautista's character, Scott Ward, and his daughter, Kate. But I mean, that was interesting. I wish they had. Well, they didn't explored it as best they could, but I still found it kind of interesting. It was definitely one more interesting subplots of the movie, but it didn't help the movie from being kind of meh. So yeah. So let's discuss some of the weirder stuff. First off, zombie animals. Now, I'm sure that there have been cross-species infections in other zombie movies, like we saw with this one, a zombie tiger and a zombie horse, and a horse a little later. Here, but that was kind of crazy. What I thought was really odd was the whole intelligent zombie subplot. I mean, I thought it was an interesting subplot at first, but it just got a little corny near the end. And so, yeah. That subplot got a little corny. I did like how we saw some scenes. There's a scene near the beginning where they first enter, where they're going through indoors and all the zombies are standing there like mannequins, and they have to try to not disturb them. That I thought was very good, tension causing. Well, sorry, lost my train of thought just keeps going off the rails. Anyways, that I thought was well done. Creepy, somewhat, but well Of course, naturally, all the zombies get woken up and they have to run from the horde. Horde. And that one. I also now I will say, hey, before we go on, that one of the best aspects of this movie is the gore. The gore is definitely very well done on here, at least from my perspective. Active. Whenever a zombie gets shot in the head, and you see all the blood and brains go flying, that I thought was pretty cool. So there are some other good ones. Like there is a part where we see a zombie get squished between two crushing walls, and then the walls come out, and we literally see a zombie, two halves of the zombie stuck to the walls, and all sorts of entrails hanging in between. That was really fun. That I thought was pretty good. Good. So yeah, gore effects in this movie are actually really well done. The acting was uh, the acting was decent. Granted, Dave Bautista, I think I mainly watched this movie for him because of my background of watching him in wrestling. So let's moving on. Let's get back to the plot. So, yeah, they're in Vegas, and they have 32 hours to get out, to get in and out with the money before they nuked. And honestly, the main part of the movie is them going through the city and zombie fighting, which is decent enough. I mean, if you're a big fan of watching zombies get their brains blown out, you'll probably like this movie. Honestly, some of the aspects of this movie I think would make a good video game. And like with the fuel tanks on their back. Heck, that was pretty good. I mean, heck. So, anyways, sorry about the jump. I needed time to collect my thoughts. So, getting back to the plot, zombie. Yes, most of it. But I thought there is an interesting part of the plot, and that comes back to the intelligent and enhanced zombies. Now, honestly, this part was something that I thought was interesting in the beginning. How there is a portion of zombies that is basically somewhat intelligent and organized, but in the end, I thought it got kinda, how shall I say, corny by the end, because there's basically a zombie king and queen, which is honestly the zombie king and queen. That's pretty weird by itself, but then we literally learn later on that the zombie queen was literally pregnant, which it's honestly that's kind of where the whole organized zombies thing lost me. I can understand maybe a possible mutation in zombies that allows them to retain some manner of intelligence or organizational societal structure. But when you go to pregnant zombies, that's when I think you just really jump the shark. So that's where it lost me, because that was just really corny and dumb. Excuse me. Also, this movie, he has this typical generic. Turns out, how villain doesn't want main guy who hired them doesn't really care about money. Cares about zombie because I guess he's working for the military and working looking to build his own Military wants bioweapon and all that crap, so they all get betrayed by the military guy, which, it's honest to God, I thought was kind of a generic, with Eric. I thought that was kind of dumb. Where it's like, oh, what they really want, they don't really want the money. It's really all about, oh, getting getting DNA to create a mass an army of mass destruction, and blah blah blah. So yeah, uh, that was admittedly dumb. Um, Although I will say that the betrayer guy, he does get a particularly gloriously gruesome death when and the zombie tiger her bites his face off. That what I thought was pretty awesome. So yeah, that happens in the movie, and but like I said, oh yes, and I forgot to mention the Zombie King literally rides on a freaking zombie horse. Yes, I mean it's one thing if we had a leader and I see humans riding on a horse in the apocalypse, but a zombie king riding on an intelligent zombie king riding on an intelligent zombie horse. That I thought was kind of stretching it as well. But like I said, the whole pregnant zombie queen was really where the whole intelligent zombies lost me. But speaking of, so I've covered the plot, the main plot. It's sadly, if you really were expecting anything grand, it's not really much to write home about. It's go into zombie place, get money, get betrayed. Hey, if only a few people make it out. Oh, and I also need to mention some of the deaths in this movie are really cheesy. Especially one. There's one where there's this end of the main guy, the Scott Ward's character. When Gita dies, the zombie king literally he reaches out and breaks her neck, but he freaking does the where he literally he twists her head 180. That was kind of a cheesy death, if I have to say so. Ah, that one really was really illy. Because, like I said, the idea I can sort of get behind the idea of a zombie, of certain zombies, with a certain strain of a virus, possibly he mutating somewhat and living zombies somewhat of of intelligence with a somewhat societal structure, but everything else there, no. Oh, so yeah. So the characters, a lot of the characters, the characters are definitely entertaining. I personally think the best character was as Dave Bautista's character, Scott Ward. His was the most interesting because of the dynamic between him and his daughter. Otter. Then there's the other character. There's like Vanderoe, who was one of the only living survivors. However, he was actually interesting, and Guzman, he was one of the most he was one of the probably funniest characters. Even though his character didn't really do much except shoot a bunch of zombies. And then there was, of course, Theater, who I will admit, in the beginning of the movie, I just found him to be very, very irritating. And just kind of what was character who makes you say, ah, "We're doomed." And he was got that kind of character, or the safe cracker, but he was the safe cracker, but he's also the inexperienced kid who basically who you would think probably he has never seen in combat in his life. So yeah, the characters, well, they were, well, like I said, kind of like the plot. Most of them were nothing to write home about. Oh, but that's not to say they were bad. Bad, bad. I mean, the problem is that I mean, I like that kind of. I think the whole dynamic with a lot of them are the ones who served in the original during the original infestation of Vegas, and then basically got them all, and then and turns out now they're all out. They all got screwed over by the government after helping to secure Vegas, and now they're mercenaries. That I thought was kind of interesting, but once again, it just even that subplot feels kind of generic. Generic with how one of them mentioned flipping burgers, another is working is basically working as a mechanic at a gas station. There were so yeah. Once again, and there were the most interesting character was definitely Nora. Because she was the most notable of the zombies. But even he at the end, I mean, she served her basically as a tour guide to Zombie Vegas, but she just has kicked the. Even he got killed at the end, and now to be fair, here I did enjoy. I thought maybe they were gonna leave one person alive. They do leave two people alive, but the first person is obviously Kate, Scott's daughter, and she has to kill her father. And she has to kill her father at the end because he gets bitten and turns into a zombie. That was as a good as I thought was a good scene. And also I did like, well, like I said, I like the dynamic how he's trying to reunite with his daughter because after he had to kill his wife, they basically separated. They hated it and they're estranged and they haven't talked to each other in years. That I liked, but I'm not going to keep harping on that dynamic. Anyways, so the other guy who survived is Vanderroe. And of course, he survives initially, but but then it's revealed at the end that he did get bitten. So here's the thing: he apparently survives a freaking nuke because he gets sealed in a vault, which really shouldn't make much sense. Sealing in the vault should basically kill him because there's not very much air in the vault inside the vault. So he should have probably suffocated. But I guess movie rules dictate that you can survive in a vault for a very long period of time during a zombie apocalypse. The thing of it is, he comes up out of the ground in a destroyed Vegas after the nuke, and basically he's just what should have happened is I mean, he's already carrying. He probably got radiation poisoning himself. There, so the fallout alone. Well, I guess but yeah, the fallout alone probably would have been enough to kill him, or at least poison him. Then, of course, there's the part at the end where it revealed that he was bit, which I'm not sure if they're trying to make it or set up for a sequel. Oh, but I just don't see it happening. I mean, the world they created here was was interesting, but honestly, the whole alpha zombies thing. And if we ever see a sequel to this movie, which I doubt, I'd like to see a little the alpha zombies kind of turn to death, where it's not where we don't have a literal of zombies that are basically equivalent to a cult, but where we can have a king and queen and the queen can become pregnant even though she's freaking dead. That I want to see the intelligent zombies toned down. No, I want to see them nerfed, I guess you could say. They can still be super strong, and they can have the intelligence, but maybe not so much the whole cult-like status and the king and queen. Maybe just one leader or something like that. And also, I think they need to lose the zombies riding zombie horses. That was kind of ridiculous. And now, and I have to say, and I probably should have mentioned this at the beginning of the review, but honestly, the best part of this movie was the beginning where they're showing the outbreak first hitting Vegas. Literally, we have two parties coming along and with a car crash because we need a reason for patient zero to escape. But basically, we have a car crash between a military convoy and a just married couple that just basically so we can have the car crash and patient zero escape and bring the outbreak to Vegas. Honestly, watching Vegas get destroyed and torn apart in the outbreak was sadly the best part of this movie. Honestly, not to say that the rest of the movie was bad, but that freaking outbreak scene, you will. Let me just say this: if you want to see some, if you want to see Sin City get it turned upside down, and get rampaged by zombies, and see things like zombie strippers. Yes, that's right, zombie strippers in Vegas and showgirls. Then you will probably love the beginning of this movie. And honestly, I thought that was going to set the tone for what we saw. But it didn't. And honestly, I think, and I know it would be it's really hard. It would have been really hard to maintain that pace throughout. Now, but that craziness is what got me to watch the rest of the movie. And honestly, I was kind of hoping they would stick with that level of excitement. But this is a horror action, not horror action comedy. So, oh yeah. Honestly. So, anyways, and that's basically Army of the Dead. Would I recommend this movie? Well, that's basically Army of the Dead. And now it's time for the final verdict. My final verdict for this movie is a 6 out of 10. And the movie and the violence and the gore is is good, 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 but the rest of the movie, it's just kind of meh. So yeah, that's the other dad. Would I recommend it? And it, if you're a fan of, if you just want to see Sin City turned into a horrifying zombie apocalyptic wasteland, and I'd say go see it. Yeah, if you're a fan of zombies, I'd say see it. Yeah, but if you're not a fan of zombies or zombies, or if you're not a huge horror fan, I'd say skip this one. And granted, it is free on Netflix, but I mean, this movie's not going to be for everyone, so I'd say see it if you're a zombie fan. And so there you have it. Have it. Have it. Army of the Dead, 6 out of 10. And see it if you're a zombie fan. And that about wraps up for this video. My name is Second1814. Thank you so much for watching. May the wind always be at your back. See you next time.